Before diving into specific tactics, it's important to understand what makes a person toxic. Toxic individuals often display manipulative, controlling, or negative behaviors that drain the energy of those around them. They might thrive on creating chaos, undermining others, or feeding on attention, whether positive or negative. Smart people, however, don't allow toxic people to control their lives. Instead, they use clever strategies to protect their peace, energy, and mental well-being. Let's explore in detail 13 clever ways smart people deal with toxic people, and how you can apply these tactics effectively in your life. Setting clear boundaries is one of the most essential strategies when dealing with toxic individuals. These people often try to invade your personal space, demand your time, and push your emotional limits. Without firm boundaries, they can easily drain your energy and create unnecessary disruptions in your life. To protect yourself, define what is acceptable and identify behaviors you will not tolerate, such as constant criticism, gossip, or manipulation. When communicating your boundaries, be assertive and use firm, clear language. For example, if someone brings up a topic you are uncomfortable discussing, you can say, "I'm not comfortable discussing this. Let's change the subject." Consistency is crucial. If someone crosses a boundary, remind them of it. If they persist, consider limiting your interactions with them. For instance, if a toxic coworker frequently interrupts your work to gossip, firmly state that you have important tasks to complete and cannot engage in non-work-related conversations during office hours. Toxic individuals often seek to provoke emotional reactions because it gives them a sense of control over those they interact with. They may use criticism, passive-aggressiveness, or even outright hostility to push emotional buttons, hoping to elicit a response that fuels their desire for power. Those who understand this dynamic recognize the importance of emotional detachment, ensuring that toxic individuals do not gain the satisfaction they seek. One effective strategy is practicing emotional distancing, visualizing a mental barrier between oneself and the toxic person while remembering that their negativity is a reflection of their own issues, not a personal attack. Taking a deep breath before responding can also help, allowing for a moment of reflection before engaging. Instead of reacting emotionally, responding with logic and neutral statements can prevent the situation from escalating. For instance, if a family member unfairly criticizes you, rather than becoming defensive, you can calmly say, "I hear your opinion, but I don't agree," and move on. A key approach is recognizing emotional triggers and preparing mentally before interacting with toxic individuals. This preparation involves anticipating potential provocations and deciding in advance how to respond in a composed manner. By maintaining emotional equilibrium, individuals not only protect their inner peace but also disarm toxic people who may eventually lose interest when they see their tactics are ineffective. Some find it helpful to visualize different scenarios before engaging with such individuals, mentally rehearsing how they will remain unshaken regardless of the provocation. However, emotional detachment does not mean being cold or indifferent. Rather, it involves setting emotional boundaries while remaining respectful. Smart individuals depersonalize toxic behavior, understanding that it stems from the other person's insecurities and unhappiness rather than being a reflection of their own worth. This shift in perspective helps them avoid internalizing negative comments and prevents personal attacks from affecting their confidence. In high-tension moments, mindfulness and deep breathing further enhance emotional detachment, keeping them present and reducing the likelihood of impulsive reactions. By focusing on their overall well-being, they maintain control over their emotions and avoid being dragged into unnecessary conflict. Visualization techniques, such as imagining themselves in a peaceful environment while interacting with a toxic person, reinforce emotional stability and resilience. Beyond immediate responses, maintaining a long-term perspective is essential. Engaging in petty conflicts with toxic individuals only drains energy and diverts attention from meaningful pursuits. Those who prioritize their goals and values recognize that their focus is better spent on productive endeavors rather than fueling negative exchanges. Reflecting on encounters afterward allows them to refine their approach and grow from each experience. Ultimately, by combining mental preparation, mindfulness, visualization, and a shift in perspective, they master the art of emotional detachment. This not only shields them from the manipulations of toxic individuals but also empowers them to navigate future encounters with confidence and ease. Toxic individuals thrive on drama, often stirring up conflict and pulling others into unnecessary arguments to gain a sense of power and control. They use chaos as a tool to grab attention and manipulate those around them. However, smart individuals recognize this behavior and refuse to engage, ensuring they maintain their peace and composure. The key to handling drama is staying calm. Avoiding raised voices or visible frustration helps maintain control over the situation. If a conversation starts becoming dramatic, subtly shifting the topic to something neutral can defuse tension. Knowing when to walk away is equally important. If things escalate, it is often best to excuse oneself from the situation rather than getting caught in a cycle of negativity. For example, if a friend begins complaining about another mutual acquaintance, a simple redirection such as, "I'm not sure about that, but let's focus on something positive," can prevent being drawn into unnecessary gossip or conflict. Rather than reacting emotionally, smart individuals focus on remaining calm and collected. They understand that engaging in heated arguments only fuels the toxic person's desire for drama. By keeping their tone neutral and avoiding emotional triggers, they disarm the toxic individual. Deflection techniques can also be useful in steering conversations away from heated topics, ensuring interactions remain as neutral and productive as possible. When a situation becomes overly dramatic, stepping back to assess whether further engagement is even worthwhile allows for a more thoughtful response. If the interaction is deemed unproductive or draining, a tactful disengagement, either by changing the subject or politely excusing oneself, can preserve emotional well-being. Establishing boundaries is another crucial tactic. Smart individuals set limits on how much attention and time they give to those who thrive on drama, ensuring they are not repeatedly dragged into unnecessary conflicts. This approach not only conserves their energy but also signals to the toxic person that their attempts to stir up chaos will not be successful. Ultimately, by recognizing drama for what it is, a ploy for attention and control, wise individuals choose to focus on what truly matters. They prioritize their mental and emotional well-being over engaging in pointless arguments, leaving toxic individuals without the reaction they crave. Smart individuals understand that one of the most effective ways to deal with toxic people is to limit their exposure to them. Toxic individuals often dominate conversations, control interactions, or emotionally drain those around them. By consciously minimizing the time spent with such people, smart individuals can preserve their energy, focus on positive relationships, and reduce stress. While complete avoidance may not always be an option, especially in work or family settings, strategically reducing interactions can significantly enhance overall well-being. Prioritizing time with supportive, uplifting people, politely declining unnecessary engagements, and creating physical distance when possible are all practical ways to mitigate the negative effects of toxic interactions. If a toxic friend constantly drains energy, gradually declining their invitations and redirecting time toward healthier relationships can be a powerful step toward emotional self-care. A key tactic is evaluating the necessity of each interaction. Smart individuals engage with toxic people only when absolutely required, keeping conversations task-oriented and free from emotional manipulation. They also establish buffer zones by surrounding themselves with positive, supportive individuals who help counteract the draining influence of toxic people. These strong social networks reinforce emotional well-being and provide a healthier perspective on relationships. Furthermore, smart individuals develop firm but respectful ways to decline invitations or requests from toxic people, whether by citing scheduling conflicts or simply saying, "I can't make it this time." By doing so, they maintain control over their time and energy, ensuring they invest in relationships that contribute to their personal growth and happiness. Ultimately, by consciously limiting exposure to negativity, smart individuals create an environment that fosters growth, positivity, and inner peace. This proactive approach not only strengthens emotional resilience but also makes it increasingly difficult for toxic individuals to have any lasting impact on their lives. Toxic individuals often manipulate situations by distorting facts, spreading misinformation, or appealing to emotions in a way that provokes reactions. They blend half-truths with exaggerations, making it difficult to separate reality from fiction. Smart individuals counter these tactics by staying focused on verifiable facts and objective information rather than getting caught up in emotional debates. Instead of speculating or engaging in baseless accusations, they calmly ask for specifics and keep discussions centered on what can be proven. If someone falsely accuses them of something, they respond with clarity and transparency, saying, "Actually, I've been honest and transparent. Could you clarify what you mean?" This approach helps dismantle manipulative narratives while maintaining composure. When toxic people attempt to twist the narrative, smart individuals resist the urge to engage in emotionally charged disputes. Instead, they ask for evidence to support any claims, which forces the manipulator to confront inconsistencies in their argument. A simple response like, "Can you provide specific examples?" or "Let's focus on what we know to be true," helps keep the conversation grounded in reality. By refusing to engage in speculative discussions or assumptions, smart individuals prevent conversations from spiraling into unproductive arguments. This fact-based approach not only weakens the influence of emotional manipulation but also allows them to maintain control over the situation. Additionally, smart individuals use active listening to identify the underlying issues behind a toxic person's behavior. By reflecting back factual elements of the conversation, they demonstrate attentiveness without falling for emotional baiting. This keeps discussions on track and reinforces the importance of honest, fact-based communication. Ultimately, by prioritizing facts over feelings, smart individuals create a stable foundation for interactions, making it harder for toxic people to manipulate or distort the truth. This strategy helps preserve mental clarity, allowing them to navigate difficult situations with confidence and composure. Silence is a powerful tool when dealing with toxic individuals, serving multiple purposes in diffusing conflict and maintaining personal control. By refusing to engage, you deprive toxic people of the reaction they crave, which often fuels their need for attention or drama. A well-timed pause can disrupt their momentum, forcing them to reconsider their approach or lose interest altogether. Thoughtful silence can often communicate more effectively than words, setting clear boundaries without unnecessary confrontation. When someone is being disrespectful, remaining silent signals that their behavior is unacceptable. In some cases, simply walking away after a brief silence can instantly end a toxic interaction, demonstrating that their attempts to provoke a reaction will not succeed. Strategic silence also helps protect mental space, acting as a barrier that prevents toxic remarks from escalating into full-blown arguments. Instead of responding to provocative comments or engaging in heated exchanges, maintaining composure and letting silence speak for itself can be a powerful display of emotional resilience. This approach conveys confidence and makes it clear that you are not easily manipulated. Additionally, silence can serve as a way to set boundaries. When someone continues to behave disrespectfully despite previous warnings, maintaining silence reinforces that their behavior will not be rewarded with attention or engagement. Over time, this lack of response can condition toxic individuals to reduce their negative behavior as they realize it yields no results. Mastering the art of silence requires practice, as smart individuals learn to distinguish when it is effective and when speaking up is necessary to assert their stance or clarify boundaries. They also use silence intentionally, pairing it with composed body language and well-placed pauses to enhance its impact. In meetings or group settings, silence can be a powerful way to regain control of a conversation. For example, if someone attempts to undermine them publicly, pausing before responding not only demonstrates confidence but also unsettles the toxic individual who may have expected an immediate defensive reaction. By employing silence thoughtfully, smart people navigate interactions with toxic individuals in a way that preserves their energy and mental clarity. This subtle yet powerful strategy allows them to maintain control over their emotional responses and, by extension, the overall dynamic of the interaction. Reacting impulsively often plays into the hands of toxic individuals as it gives them the control or attention they seek. Emotional reactions can be easily exploited to manipulate or escalate a situation further. Smart individuals, however, take a moment to assess the situation before responding, ensuring they remain in control of both their emotions and the direction of the conversation. A brief pause before speaking or acting allows them to gather their thoughts, regulate their emotions, and choose a response that aligns with their values rather than reacting out of frustration or anger. For example, if faced with a provocative comment, they might take a deep breath before delivering a calm, measured statement that neutralizes negativity. This not only prevents unnecessary escalation but also demonstrates emotional maturity, which can frustrate a toxic person expecting an immediate reaction. To stay in control, smart individuals focus on what they can manage, their response. If someone sends a provocative message, they take a few minutes before replying with a composed, fact-based answer. Additionally, they remain present in tense interactions, avoiding the influence of past grievances or future anxieties. By keeping their attention on the immediate conversation and addressing only what is constructive, they prevent toxic people from dragging them into emotional turmoil. Techniques like grounding exercises, focusing on what they can see, hear, or feel help maintain composure and prevent knee-jerk reactions. Thoughtful responses often incorporate a balance of empathy and assertiveness. Smart individuals acknowledge the other person's perspective without necessarily agreeing, which helps de-escalate tension. At the same time, they assert their own boundaries firmly but respectfully to communicate their stance without unnecessary conflict. For instance, they might say, "I understand where you're coming from, but I have a different perspective," which validates the other person's feelings while maintaining their own position. Moreover, smart people recognize that not every situation warrants a response. Sometimes, the best response is silence or disengagement, particularly when an interaction is unlikely to lead to a productive outcome. By choosing to step back rather than engage, they conserve their energy for more constructive matters. This ability to discern when to respond and when to remain silent develops through experience and self-awareness. Ultimately, by pausing, assessing, and thoughtfully choosing their words and actions, smart individuals maintain composure, protect their mental well-being, and reinforce their ability to navigate challenging situations with confidence. Over time, this practice becomes second nature, allowing them to handle even the most difficult interactions with poise and self-assurance. Humor can be a powerful tool when dealing with toxic individuals, as it helps shift the dynamic from conflict to lightheartedness. Toxic people thrive on provoking emotional reactions, but humor can disarm them by disrupting their control over the situation. A well-placed joke or a lighthearted remark can defuse tension, making it harder for them to manipulate the conversation. However, it's important to ensure that humor remains light and non-confrontational. Sarcasm or mockery could escalate the situation rather than defuse it. Laughing off a ridiculous comment or using self-deprecating humor can demonstrate confidence and resilience, signaling to the toxic individual that their attempts to provoke are ineffective. For instance, if someone makes a snide remark, responding with a smile and saying, "Well, I guess I'll add that to my list of quirks," can neutralize their attempt at belittling. Smart individuals use humor as a strategic way to maintain their composure and redirect conversations toward a more positive atmosphere. Additionally, humor helps protect mental well-being by reducing stress and preventing negative comments from taking root. In group settings, a well-timed joke can break tension and shift focus, subtly undermining the toxic person's control. Ultimately, humor allows individuals to stay in control, maintain emotional balance, and create a more constructive environment, all while ensuring that interactions remain light and manageable.